So with me, when it comes to what's happening to me, I want to show the obvious patterns of what they've done and what they do to me. In the last few videos, maybe the last one, you saw the little baby girl, this tiny little kid that they were forcing me to look in these sexual ways. This kid could not be more than 6 years, right? Between 4 to 6 years old. And they were making me look at this baby in this nasty sexual way. And I said, if they have the ability to make a man or woman look at kids that young in this sexual way, imagine if the kids are older, like teenage kids. It's going to be easier because now those kids look closer to adults. Now in front of me is somebody I was watching this thing, and randomly this person who looks like a teenage kid, I'll give her between 16, 17, 18, 19. Between those 4 years, right? Making me look at this either late teen, young adult person in a sexual way. They did this sexual perception to a baby who's 4 or 5 years old or 6 years old. So what do you think about this older kid or young adult? To interrupt me, because what I've been doing is every time they manipulate me, from the babies to the older kids or people who look like they could be kids, but I'm not sure, they are forcing me to get this nasty stimulation. I hear somebody who's a perp, like I've shown before, to try to make you accept this nasty manipulation. Because what I try to do is, when they manipulate me, when they make me have these nasty stimulations, I want to show that these patterns of what they do. You see the little girl earlier, they were trying to make me look at these kids in this sexual way. I described it in specifics, in descriptive ways. And then they do this to these older kids. I'm like, if you can do that to the baby like that, what do you think you can do to this kid or this person who could be a kid? You understand? And you hear this trash try to use this nasty ass tonality that they've tried to gimmickly create to try to make you accept this. Oh, they are this you, these bottom feeders. You see these people, even the neighbors, you see this trash. I was like, they try to make me look at this trash in this sexual way. I want to continuously show what they've been doing to me, which is forcing me to look at children of all ages in these nasty sexual ways. And I'll show who the F is trying to make you accept to this nastiness. This bottom fear is working for entities filled with pedophiles, target individuals. Know yourself. For me, the manipulation are as extreme as they get, from the babies to the older kids who could actually be adults, but if they're adults, they're barely adults. And you hear this trash try to use this tonality. For me, is the sole purpose is, when you look at my videos, if these people can make you look at a baby like that in this sexual way, can you imagine if what they can do to older kids? That is as simple as just showing the patterns of the manipulations. I showed the extreme of the manipulations and the least extreme. And I purposely do that, because when I look at these bottom feeders that try to make me accept these things, you think that I ever subscribe to these manipulations? 2 seconds ago, you made me look at this child, this baby, that's obviously a baby. Like, I'm talking about like a 4 or 5 year old, maybe 6-year-old max, in this sexual way. So you tell me this person who looked like maybe a late teen, maybe a young adult, if anything, maybe 19, max 18 or like in a sexual way, after you done this to a 4 or 5 year old child? These bottom fears are this disgusting trash, and my purpose is to continuously show what they do. If they can do that to a baby, imagine what they can do to older kids, or somebody who looks like could be an actually a late teen kind of kid. These people are disgusting. They will try to make me imagine her like, listen, this is not the extreme. Okay, when they do this to the older kids, it's not as bad. It's not something that's gonna break me down. But they just got done doing that to a 4 5 year old, and they're like, "You'll scream, you fucking nasty bottom feeders." I'm sorry, I'm to all my to anybody watching my videos. Sometimes my emotions gets the best of me, and I react this ways, and they take advantage of that to make me swear when I don't want to swear. Don't mean I don't swear, but when I make videos, I don't try not to do that. But then I see them in the hallways, and then it's time to understand that you see how I look at you. I told you the reason why I make these videos is to show if they can do that to this little baby, this little girl. They made me imagine this little girl's butt in this disgusting ways because the wind is blowing and it's so disgusting. What do you think they can do to this person whose age, is a little bit ambiguous, late teen, early adulthood age group from 17, 16, 17, 18, 19. He can go either way there. If she's 18, not big surprise. If she's 17, not big surprise. If she's 19, it's not too big of a surprise. So, you have to understand. For me, I want to create a pattern of what they do to me. Express the things they do to me. The pattern that if they can do that to a child that's like obviously 4 5 year old, what can they do to older kid? Try to make me look at this baby in this nasty, perverse way. And even try to make me look at them in the way I would look at a woman. What do you think they can do to somebody who's older like that? If I scream, if I die, when I scream, when I die, one thing is for sure, I'm just so thankful to God that at least I got the chance to understand how nasty and bottom feeders these low life are and expose these bottom feeders for what they truly are. Because I do show what they do to me. So if you ever look at my videos, you'll understand what they do. And these nasty bottom feeders who can make me look at a baby that young in this nasty sexual way, what can you do? What do you think they can do to people like them, like her? She looks like, she can pass for like a young adult, like very young adult. But that's them manipulating me. I personally think she's between like 16, 17, 18, maybe 19. And not being forced. They try to make me look at her butt area. There's no, there's nothing there, but they're gonna try to create. They did that to a baby, so they can do that to some older person like that. And when I mean older in comparison to the baby, they try to make me imagine what's the name again? One of the Kim Kardashian sister that's model, because they do have a little bit of resemblance. Try to make me think of her. Try to create that into her. It's like you can do it easily to this person. Look at the baby you just did that to. My purpose is to show a pattern of what they can do. They manipulate the people. They can manipulate my brain in every way possible. They can make me look at kids in any ways possible. Now, can you imagine how they can make me look at this person? To my target individual, I am here to show the manipulations and perceptions. And when I've shown the perception manipulations they've done to me, I've let other people talk about what they've been experiencing. For me, it's that simple. They do the same thing they've done to others. And just listen to one. I'm not going to go through the whole samples of testimonials, but listen to that just specific testimonial.
It said this the slaves began a program of perversion. First was with my dog. I am very playful with my pet. And suddenly one day that I was petting him, I felt strange, in the sense of the word. I thought, this is strange, and then afterwards that strange sensation continued. Then in that moment I realized that was impost. So I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing. And then I teenage, me sort of say. I feel like I'm aroused all day.
So you hear this woman specifically, they have been doing this program perversion aiming toward young people, children, and especially teenagers. This is things they do. But for me, even babies, like much younger than that, babies. So when they do that to this kind of like individual, if they like late teens or look like they could be young adults, that's what they do. It's obvious because they've done it to worse situation to babies. So obviously that will not break me down as much as a little girl that they've done that to not too long ago. So to my target individual, see them for the trash and bottom feeders that they are. For me, I continuously show the pattern of what they've been doing to me, and every time they do that to me, I show this is what they've done to others.